Test, test.
Like,
Time I'll call this workshop meeting at Rock City Council to order. Of course, give the usual formality. But I will ask if there's anyone here that wishes to. Want to sign up? On favorite agenda, workshop session. Presented by Brady.
okay, Mayor and Council, so this will be our last workshop. Just on some things that were added because of feedback that I had gotten from other employees or departments. Add in a policy on temporary restricted duty or light duty. This kind of or even non-workers' comp situations. So we just wanted to add something in the policy that kind of reflects the guidelines on that. And
Just do like hourly people.
no, I mean, it should apply to any employee.
Can you?
Mhm. I believe they would need some sort of release from the doctor pretty much to be on light duty. Oftentimes, what has happened in the past is they're released for light duty, but we don't necessarily have a light duty. So this
So they have a light duty, you can.
Light duty there. If there's nowhere that's light duty, then they're still off on whatever they're on.
I think it would just be at that.
So they pay us a lot.
It depends. Workers' comp will continue to pay them. If they're on, if they injured, like if you're in a car. If they're getting paid or if they have any time off accrued or if there's anything in the bank. If they don't.
Right. Well, then that, the light duty would be hours worked. Right. But if there is no light duty, then if it's not work. Yes.
Do we have? We do have a 6-month cutoff on workers' comp. Is that correct? So meaning we can
language in there. I was trying to find something from other cities and I couldn't really.
Yeah, we need to
I need
have
to
that in
find
there.
that. And
Okay,
that's my notes.
Okay. In your employment policy that says, if you cannot return to work, be terminated or released, meaning we don't have to hold that job open for more than 6 months. It's a policy that applies to everybody. It's not just that person. It's not specific to a person. It's just an over. School district years ago, we had someone who was off 2 years and we were having to hold their position.
We had somebody.
Filled his position, but I had to guarantee him a position somewhere. Yeah.
At the same rate, same
Yeah.
everything. So after 6 months, you can release. I mean, whether you want to call it terminate or release their position, they're told. Or, they're not banned from work. It's just we can't afford to leave positions open. For that. And generally, the rule of thumb is 6 months. Then
We have that.
We don't, I need to add that in.
that's a very necessary policy.
And
That's no problem.
Doesn't be removed. It can't, it needs to be removed, so I will remove it.
It's only gender now.
Gender. Okay, the next change would be on page 36, which pertains to back from departments. I added in on the scheduling vacation at the bottom saying that an employee must complete the 90 vacation leave. Now I could change that rather to probationary period. It is 90 days with the option of an extension of 90 days, which could span it to 6 months. So,
Caveat it unless an agreement with the employee otherwise, because sometimes you hire in a higher.
Otherwise agree to at hires.
Yeah.
like as if like they had already had scheduled vacation like prior to getting the job or something.
Or vacation, like 2 weeks or something
Approved by the city.
At hiring.
at higher date. That could be like a CFO, a public works director, a assistant public works.
Yeah, I'm
Or
going
any
to say an employee must complete the probationary period of new hire employment, and then I'll add in.
A lot of time, can I say something? So a lot of times, I think what happens is, so the first year. 4 hours a month. Okay. So sometimes a new employee. Already asking for that day off because they've accumulated 8 hours. Okay, so, because a lot of times you have to tell them, well, no, you haven't been here long. I mean, yeah.
Well,
But
you
at
get
the same
employees
time,
who start
they're approved.
abusing it and, they back on because they just keep taking their vacation instantly. It kind of helps them.
Usually I'll explain to a new employee the point of the program. The agreement is so that an employee does not have to go through financial difficulty if that particular time. Okay, but some of them think, oh, what, I'm 4 hours here, or I got 8 hours. That's not what it was designed for. Yeah.
So is the probationary period not 90 days?
The probationary period is not things that they need an extension. So that's why if you just leave it as probationary period, that kind of leaves it up to the department head. They want to do. So then another addition. Floating holiday, where in order to receive the floating holiday, an employee must be employed by the city of Port Lavaca for at least 1 year. A common practice when it comes to a floating holiday, where you have to be employed for the whole year before you can be. It's you have a day to take. It's just a day. You can schedule it any time during the.
You have to be here 90 days.
A year. So this one would be where you have to be here for a full year. Because we have had instances as well. Another addition. So it's actually a change in a way. For weather leave. So all I'm. So rather than adding anything in here, I'm just pretty much stating, please refer to 7.11.03 on the closure of city facilities. I'm leaving it just simple. The next edition, which is something. Compensation policy. So I just added in for more detail on the city's approved classification and compensation plan. See appendix. Yes. Should we go fix that? Oh yeah, I just saw that. I think it does. It keeps. Would be another change. This is regarding the on-call policy. Leave standby will receive an additional $100 per week in compensation for being available as required, in addition to actual time worked. For other which they receive compensation as part of their base salary. We've been budgeting for this amount, but not actually. So for any hourly employee, they would be, if they're on standby, they would be, for just public works employees, they would get $100 per week. Four other cities, and there were the comparable cities that we usually compared to. That has the policy. Actually, I took most of the language from Beaville's. Portland and where?
The number on standby,
They rotate.
rotate, so that can be gone the week that they're supposed to be on scene.
The person that's on standby is denoted on their timesheet as being on standby. So it's, I schedule you to be on call and you get rotated at the end of the schedule. And that person that I called out to do the on-call takes the on-call.
And if they do come,
This is just, it's a incentive to Portland, where I worked. Anybody to work on phone.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's inconvenience.
And then when I went to Beeville, they didn't have this. So I
Clarifying non-exempt persons.
I can. So it's pretty much stating that's part of their job. I mean, those employees should be getting paid overtime.
The PD is not always on call, right?
I mean, are you?
You're off shift, you're automatically on call,
That's always on call.
what's that?
There's a detective that's always on call. One detective that's on call.
Shit, okay.
Yeah, 4 minutes.
From since the prior other workshops. So if there's no other questions, we can dive into chapter 7.
Wait,
Mhm.
same vacation time.
The only who don't receive the same amount would be officers and firefighters who receive.
The accrual though, what you accrue is based on what you. So not everybody gets the same amount of.
Yeah. But I just wanted to know, because they work different
Yeah,
shifts,
they work
both of them than you do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's not fair if you're getting 4.
Oh, no, they,
Firefighters
I didn't
get
see it
12.
in here, but I was just thinking.
Right here, this one. So regular full-time gets 8, and then it says shift police / firefighters get 12 hours.
But
But like calling. And the detectives get 8 as well.
So like a regular employee, right? They'll have enough.
Fire or for
You
the
know, to take,
48 hours. So if they save up, if they don't take any of their leave, they would have 48 hours at the end
so
of
on
the
a
year.
regular employee, would he have,
Yeah. As long as they
would-
don't,
They do that.
they would have more.
So I just want it to be kind of equal
Yeah.
because
So then less than a year for just a regular full-time employee, they would have 48 hours within the year, as long as they don't take anything. For a it would be 72 hours. So they're, depending on their shift, I know fire, you're on.
like most people take vacations for a week.
Year.
Yeah.
And for a regular employee, that would give them enough time too for him.
Oh, yeah.
And
As long as they don't take. So,
yeah, okay.
okay.
So I had a question on page 8, just 8. It says operational changes to any policy require approval by somebody. Next paragraph, these talk. Approved on city council,
So
and once, whenever it said if the city manager can change it. It's
The processing of payroll would be operational. The how you submit in
internal policies.
well, it'd be in applying the policy, the application. Administration.
Administration. Yes, we do. Definitely do. It includes
Required for any OSHA related job is required. And anyone who operates
getting randomly drug screened or
office employees.
City Hall besides Derek and Riley. Okay,
What
so
happens on a positive drug test? We all have like a rehab, program.
so what, 5?
Same guy about it.
The system,
It's kind of crazy.
the system,
They're random.
so there's a chance you could get picked every month. I mean, so I mean it's just random.
One way.
Yeah, I heard.
he said,
So then, yeah, so to substance abuse and testing. The first part is mostly pertaining to supervisors have influence or any sort of reasonable suspicion. There's nothing in here about that.
Alcohol or drugs, isn't it?
Anything. Maybe.
Alcohol is a drug, right?
Yeah, alcohol, drugs.
And CBD is not that clear that if you pop on a CBD, well, I just use CBD. It's
Does that mean it's illegal?
for drug testing policy. So if an employee who is subject to random doesn't matter.
But it's okay.
It's a violation.
But it's okay, it's legal for stores to sell it.
Yes. Well,
Supervisor has a reasonable doubt. Is that person ends up happy.
I mean, if the supervisor has reasonable suspicion that
or knows.
or knows.
They probably
Permit the employee not to perform any more duties, essentially, and they are going to be subject to a
So,
testing.
and if that
Mhm.
The supervisor should notify human resources for authorization to initiate the testing. I mean, so.
I mean, you have to prove that they knew.
I know, but.
Yes.
Yeah, but you know,
Yeah.
you know, because this is a smart.
But this just adds in language that stating though that.
Puts the supervisor
Yeah,
on notice.
Exactly. Yeah. On page 70, I added for rehabilitation / treatment. Being notified of the need to take a scheduled alcohol or drug test, essentially saying that an employee can't say that they need help.
I don't really like that. I don't like that. I think if they, that's.
Yeah.
Because I know we've made deals before for people to go. We have made deals before.
So they could pop.
I mean, I don't know how council feels about that, but I know that the city has made arrangements with.
We add something in there, or I just remove it. That's the
Well, I
case.
was going to be,
Maybe this.
it's discretionary.
Yeah.
It can be taken into consideration, but I don't know that I'd make.
We're closing it upon ourselves.
We need to say
With somebody, but we don't have to.
May.
But
Cities desire to assist employees who voluntarily request assistance. And or before it jeopardizes, I'd take the red out.
just take it out.
Probably have, Tim, but if you're going to try to rehab a patient, multiple times in this city
And
to save the person's job.
discretionary, if it's a valuable,
Not a lot of reoccurrences.
And then, you know, that's all. Is there?
well, it comes from the department head.
Yeah, it's going to be driven by the department
That's where
head.
it comes from, yeah, you know.
The discretionary of the department head.
And the approval.
Oh,
Well,
just
I mean-
telling you,
I kind of agree. I don't know that we want to make it, we don't, this is the rule, we can't.
work with an employee.
So this,
Well, we don't want to. We want to find out too.
that, and I think it's pretty clear now, so.
It's a policy.
Okay.
But if we start writing in gray areas into this, then.
Well, then you can take it as whatever you want. Are you agreeing with the red? Okay.
And I've told my guys, take it, fail it, and take your licks.
Well, take your licks is going to be termination because they're not going to be able to ask for rehab. And done.
If you haven't acknowledged it,
It's very harsh.
Research a little bit more on maybe.
Notified.
I mean, you have a split council, I think.
It has to be discretionary.
well, but again, to, discretionary statement is already there. We're just not adding that.
Because if we let one person rehab and the other one not, that's opening us up for a lawsuit.
Well, I would say unless they've been they have a disciplinary history or a not showing an absentee period, and I don't think that would open it up. But if it's an ongoing employee, that it's a
Two of these agreements to enter the program. It's not like a cakewalk. There's a lot there. We've had some that said,
but repeat. I don't know. Maybe you say that it's on a
Age, it does state something along the lines of employee.
Have to send to rehab. Do they?
oh, I think one and then, but the second one, I don't know if we ever, I don't think we had.
Seems more
I
one,
think just one.
just one. Since I
One he refused to go.
parking.
One, I thought he went for a while, but then he
No,
didn't start.
He never showed up to the.
Yeah, never did.
It's terminated.
Yeah. But he came to me before he failed the drug screen.
Well, that's what,
but he knew he had to take the screen,
Right.
right?
No.
no, he came before.
Lovely.
There was no testing involved. He, on his own good conscience, came forward. So this wouldn't. Came in good faith.
This is where
Any
also
work you
you
have.
keep working. Come from.
That was his intention, was to go to rehab. So
you're not eligible to come to work until you get released from the
Yeah.
treaty.
So he's not getting any pay at all.
Unless with his leave, that would
With
be
his,
just.
if he. And it's subject to FMLA.
Yes.
So although you don't necessarily get paid on FMLA, you can at least cover.
Wouldn't have been against this policy though, because he came forward prior.
Before.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we wanted to put something. You have to come
repeats.
back in before, you know, say you're struggling with the program.
I would just take it out.
Okay.
We'll just get in trouble.
The next edit would be page 76. All test, I'm strike throughing test and replacing that with an employee who has a confirmed positive. I mean,
Yeah.
there should be only consequences if you had a confirmed positive test, not just a test. Um,
Drugs in general.
I want to say there's a list in here.
Well, if you have prescription,
Yeah.
that's in number.
Yeah, prescriptions and over-the-counter medications.
Something does come back, you just go and check with. That
And I know it's come up, but because you can get a medical. It doesn't count.
Do that in Texas?
Well,
I think
very,
it's becoming-
very,
See, just for
very sketchy. And a OSHA or drug testing employee and have that. That's not something you have to. Accommodation, but that's not an accommodation. Something that's subject to accommodation.
Didn't we just say that even for?
Is that on the prescriptions?
Consequences.
Yeah, but I mean,
No, the consequences is if they have a confirmed positive test. Or they went randomly and then they did test positive for drugs, then
I mean.
But because part, and it's,
I mean,
that
I'm
is
okay with that,
confusing.
but that's what we just discussed. Part
Site in time.
well, I think part of it too is for the employee to acknowledge that they've got a problem
Well,
and ask for help.
but it does, no, it does.
So.
Even for a first offense.
Yeah, it doesn't state anything.
It's done, but unless.
Negates the second chance.
I think what Wayne said was that if you get tested, that's your window
Say something.
to say something. Now, I don't know that this policy.
So so the question is that what we want it to say?
Correct.
Yeah.
Because if we don't terminate one person. To be one or the other.
So I guess when we're back up here talking about instead of prior to being tested, prior to testing positive.
Then you have to
not
go
prior
back to that.
Pull for a test,
Yes.
prior to testing positive.
Back in.
Do you want it for a first offense? Do you want the black and white? I mean, under 5 consequences.
To if
Well, that is-
gray area, then I would take out the line has a confirmed positive test. If they failed in a time period allotted,
That is subject to
then that is subject to
termination.
termination or any
That's,
violation.
that to me is more,
So that leaves the option of a. But then you're leaving that door open. But just remove that. Do I need to research maybe that one a little bit more? Well, I know, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's pretty simple that way, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it makes it difficult for us because
I mean, that is true.
So
What are you supposed to do then?
I've got people that are failing drug tests. I got nobody to drive.
no, that's required.
Mhm.
Every vehicle the city owns is a commercial vehicle. So the heavy CDL vehicle,
DOT requirement for any commercial building? It's just see what happens.
We fired anybody for this?
Yes.
Yeah.
And for refusing to take one too.
And I'm gonna be at me.
I mean, well.
Consideration.
I mean, I don't think you want to have people.
We don't communicate here.
Well, when new hires come in, they go through all this. That is
is to make sure they didn't understand our personnel policy. So they know the rules that are laid out in front
They
of
have to sign it.
and Rachel goes through.
They read the personnel policy upon hire.
Well, so it sounds like we.
Did you go
back
through
and-
all of these, discuss them?
About the drug testing with their employees.
Personally, I think that they probably should.
So that's what I sound like.
Be able to hear y'all.
Okay.
So I'm trying to speak up.
When I talk, it's going.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
on.
catch what you said, I'm sorry.
I mean, I think if they test positive, we should go on.
I don't think those work, Rose.
Liability of, this guy is high and he's got a gun, he shoots somebody. It's like,
So again, with that. Program. Before.
They would need to come before they test.
Before he actually.
Oh,
Three departments here, heavy liability.
Yeah,
Joe, myself, heavy trucks. We don't want somebody
getting hurt.
behind
Fires,
And to Colin's point, I definitely don't want somebody running around with a gun drunk or high.
Firefighters are like. Not saying they are, just.
So don't,
Post it.
I don't think that's necessary.
so for the rehabilitation / treatment to essentially
Declaration may not be made after being notified of the need to take it.
schedule alcohol drug test
Or.
for the rehab. And then leaving in the confirmed positive test as well for consequences. Yeah. Okay. In this chapter, or in the chapters we're about to discuss, I think there's another blurb on cell phones, but it's more for personal cell. This specifically should be for cities. So I strike through minimal personal. Replacing it with any personal calls shall be kept to a minimum and shall not interfere with the operations of the employee's work or department. In operations, this privilege may be restricted or removed. I know that in the past, we use on a city cell phone. This kind of just limits it just a little bit. I mean, obviously you shouldn't be. But it kind of gives the supervisor their own discretion on that, on whether or not you're abusing them.
To a minimum.
I mean, I have a city cell phone that's dedicated to the finance department. Let's just say that I'm constantly to my husband.
Who's gonna know what you're doing?
Well, if my boss keeps coming in and I'm on that cell phone and I'm obviously is the supervisor up to monitor that. I mean, yes, you could probably get away with it, but
You can ask for your.
City paid phone, yeah.
it's not.
And on-call phones rotate from person to person, so they're not gonna use that as
Personal, so.
City cell phones.
I don't think so, no.
there's a lot.
I think technically I'll get just TikTok.
Yeah, that's TikTok policy.
That we adopted. But it probably needs to be in.
That should be added in probably the appendices.
Yeah.
And I.
That certain social media
Actually,
apps.
it wasn't VC3 was supposed to somehow restrict that, I thought.
Some
We did that, they decreased the price because there's so many restrictions. Try that.
Well, it's all I'm. Well, but you do have people like Jody who administer city Facebook pages.
I mean, we do have a.
Yeah, and there is a social media policy.
That's the only thing I can think right now is.
The TikTok.
And that will change.
Um, add in on page 82 on the employee's responsibility. This just makes sure that any sort of records that are on the phone that they obviously are following. Like text messages or anything like that, you know, if you, I mean, because the city cell phone is open for open information or something like that. So
Verizon's supposed to back up our.
there's, yes, they are.
Because they go away. Server, you know, and if you don't use it for anything but work, there's nothing else they can ask you for.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So that was all that I added to the city cell phone. The next policy. Six. All I'm adding in here is a failure to report any accident or injury within termination of employment. This is just something that we're required for workers' comp as well. So place on 7.11.03. I'm only adding in that for duty at the regularly assigned hours for their workday. I did change this bottom one. It's not edited on here. Initiating the process of contacting employees on opening and / closing via phone call, city website, social media, and local media outlets.
Yeah, we want to basically say. Let people know we're shutting down, but also to let them know.
Yeah, we're opening some. So. And okay, so that's actually all the edits for chapter 7. Is there any concerns?
Why there's not. Those employees here, that's it.
Yes.
Yeah, they may have someone.
As this entire policy sitting on.
Question on the schedule, okay, for emergency disaster.
Which page? I'm sorry. Page 88.
88. So somebody is on vacation.
And they don't have to use their.
So if somebody happened to be scheduled on vacation and I don't know, vacation day, since they would use weather leave in lieu. Since it was there was a weather leave. their vacation, they would just use the weather leave, like as everyone else, because everyone else is going to use weather leave as well. I think it just makes it more.
City Hall closes early for a holiday. But use.
That is different.
It's different.
Yes. Scheduled on a vacation. Okay, if you scheduled vacation for the 23rd, before Christmas. Everyone leave an hour early. So you were already scheduled vacation that day. So what the main practice is that you use the vacation that you would essentially,
Get a free hour, 2, 3?
it's not like, it's essentially, it's not counted as overtime. I know Bay City calls it a mayor approved holiday or something like that.
That's why we do.
To be off that day, I guess.
An issue with that. Okay. On vacation. Why am I using, when you leave, you get paid. If everybody else is getting, say, an hour paid and they're not working. why- I find it unfair. I think if you're going to give any of and regardless of whether you're on vacation or not, then instead of putting in 8 hours annual.
I mean, it's, as it is now, it's the possible for those that are working that day.
But
That's just, I mean, well, no, it's only if the mayor or Jody were to tell everyone that they can leave, that they can leave early. Everybody.
Yes. Because they're working.
I think there's a difference if you want. Letting them go and they're getting paid while someone else is having to use.
Well, then the option is we don't.
The building for weather.
I mean, it,
It's the way.
What do you do at
I
public?
mean,
What do you do at public works?
if you want to close the meeting and you want to
If
leave them, that
We're
is.
gonna. The option, if they want to take the rest of the day off and use their vacation time, then they're free to go.
See, that's the way it should happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't cut them free, we didn't give them free time,
You need that.
because it's not fair to my people that are on call.
You just make it them just like that, then if you want to leave, then you'd have to use your. And
It's still kind of generous if you're on vacation.
well, we can strike that.
Vacation in Alaska, you're not affected.
Or she said, hey, get your butt back here.
Yeah.
Well,
like,
then you-
You're essential, you need.
you could do that, I mean.
Well, I mean, not everybody gets the weather,
Yeah.
right?
And now
These guys
hurricane, you know,
We usually have.
hurricane or the off chance there's a storm, a winter storm.
Yeah.
I think.
That's right. I think we have to be careful with stuff.
You have the option like wait a second. You wanna leave at 4, you can, but you have to take
An hour vacation.
an hour vacation, because it's not fair to those.
20 and 30 hours of overtime every pay period.
So they just go, yeah.
Just goes well. They're not gonna give up their overtime.
Talk to me tomorrow.
We're going to chapter 8. Chapter 8 is employee. I don't know why I wasn't there before, to be honest. Page 94. Okay. It's stating that, you know, as a city employee, you're held to a high standard of ethical conduct. You should conduct yourself in a manner that officially with the public in a manner that will enhance the public confidence in the employees and the city. I think this is pretty standard and, I mean,
Should be the standard.
um, this is just information concerning any employee or vendor which may come to an employee's knowledge is to be held in strict confidence. Be disclosed except as provided in the Texas Public Information Act. Employees commit illegal acts if they use official information. As well.
So what I will tell you is, under the Public Information Act, almost everything is public. Okay, so I would under the Public Information Act, because if we just say that it as confidentiality is provided in the Public Information Act, information, and anyone can get it, anyone can get your pay, anyone can get your disciplinary history. But what you don't want is your employees to go out and put on Facebook, so-and-so was here on a court case. So in responding to a public information request, it's not going to be pursuant to the Public Information Act because
so it would be this. Pretty much that second.
it's the, let's may be disclosed except in response to a request. The next sentence about prohibits distribution of information deemed confidential under it. Violation or punishable by law. Any questions regarding? I like that you put no information disclosed in a court case, investigation, audit report. I mean, conjunction with their job. So anything that, you know, in your utility department that somebody has a pass in accordance with the knowledge they obtain as an employee should not be disclosed unless in response to a public. Customer.
Second sentence.
In the first sentence, strict confidence. No information learned. An employee's position may be disclosed. I would take out the court case and that it kind of limits. In the course of their employment. Good job.
Official capacity.
May be disclosed except because we have had that happen.
They've got people coming by cities trying to trap people to send them. So.
Oh, for sure.
First one.
But it's if you, even though it's public information, doesn't mean you should go out spreading it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, then so I added in a lot in use and care of city. City property and equipment shall be used for official business only. This is just stating pretty much the use of any city equipment outside. And then defining what is city owned or leased property and also what official business is.
correct?
Yes, but I guess that would be more.
That's its official, that's its official use.
Whereas our equipment is not insured for those cases.
Well, you have to check it out as a citizen anyways.
Has this been an issue?
Little needle in the haystack that's going to come up, but I would think our employees knowing about it would want to check it out, you know? And no, only the lawn library. That's not in the lawn library.
It's quite simple. I don't get to drive my truck home. They don't get to take tobaccos home.
And when the city does issue equipment to employees like credit cards, keys, tools, security pass. All that is signed out and then signed back in upon employment. And we do have badges. By not turning in city property, that can be deducted from your last payroll. Be in the uniforms, but this, I think, kind of just makes it more broad on the types of equipment.
And you have to
Next would be in I won't go through all of it, but I mean, this is obviously becoming a really big deal nowadays. So this is something that states, anyone who has access to our technology systems, what their responsibilities are as employees, acceptable employees are required to do cybersecurity awareness every year. And then misuse of information technology and to that. So, yeah, this definitely been needed in our policy for a long time.
AI that is used here in the city.
I actually don't use AI. Emails. Uh,
There's two of us that have this app. It's the same. And sidewalks.
Oh,
Jody and
yeah.
I have this from,
An AI.
yeah, and it's the only AI that I'm aware of that we have.
What do you mean? Scan?
Oh, yeah,
It scores and rates them.
If you use a Chrome browser, you've got Gemini on there.
yeah, I mean, not really. No,
So, oh, robots running.
no, it's us doing the work.
It's not going away. I mean, that may be something to.
Oh, it's
Well,
gonna come really
yeah.
fast.
When, what's our stupid system? Our overall computer system, I'm sure they're
Like for the finance, like Tyler or
Tyler
Yeah,
Technologies,
I mean,
all that.
yeah.
I'm sure they're integrating AI.
Oh, yeah.
All the scoring is done AI. The other software I had, that free trial I had, that was AI. And we're using it, we're just not.
I mean, it's integrating what you're not seeking it out.
Yeah.
It's not. I agree.
I mean, we need to take advantage of it. Else.
What we need to be aware of is how much it
There, it's www.explorer texas.com. This is this X. Around most of the cities, if not all the cities in Texas. And they've and we have an opportunity, we're looking in if we want to, that we could subscribe and then customize more, but it's AI. So some of it's accurate, some of it's not.
I was going to say it hallucinated, didn't it?
That's one thing that, we'll. The information off our website to dispense information, not 100.0% of the information on our website. Need to get old or whatever.
It's a good start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun. I mean, that's.
I wouldn't rely on it.
Yeah.
The next policy that's been added is on fraud. It actually the obvious policy on any sort of altercation or forgery of any sort of documents, city documents, anything. We don't really have one, so this is it. Yeah.
for multiplication of documents, that's actually is done.
Never to be used.
Yes, but we have, it's good to have. On page 100, there's a policy addition. Essentially, a policy stating that employees who have been arrested and or convicted of any offense must notify their supervisor and human resource. And essentially states what this employee's status is after any sort of alleged violation of law.
You definitely need to put in here, not just convicted or
Arrested.
it's arrested, served probation. Adjudication,
Mhm.
and it's not a conviction. So, go anywhere except in the DA's file. And maybe that's fine, but definitely if they serve. That'd probably be the easiest, have been arrested and or deferred adjudication or are convicted. Because deferred is not a conviction.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's still.
They are being, the judge is finding them convicted, but they're deferring their serve it, then the conviction is never final.
It's what's called deferred.
People who are savvy
Here
on
as
that,
well, the title as well.
yes,
Somewhere in here.
yeah, because people can get real technical about this.
Okay. Then there is a weapon while on duty unless the weapon is required by the employee's job. This is essentially saying she needs, if this were the case, she needs to leave it in her car. She can leave it in her car, but I'm just using an example. There's no specific. Can carry a gun would be an officer. Or a weapon.
Keep my gun locked up in my terminal. So.
Gee, that's good to know. Thanks for sharing.
For political activity on page 102, I added of citizenship consistent with state and federal law and these policies. I just looking through other people's policies, it seemed that was a common statement that.
Can they take city time to go vote?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Oh, then they'll leave because it shouldn't be charged.
No, I don't know. They can go on.
Yeah.
It's not.
Lorena didn't.
Yeah, it's on page 52, voting leave. Prior, but you don't have to use any leave. Okay, so this policy for personal electronic devices in the workplace. So this is for an employee's personal cell phone.
iPad.
City, pretty much limiting, adding a policy in for, if you walk up to an employee who's just watching something on their cell phone and, not being present or anything like that. Is sensitive information, that's city, and use of handheld devices to view. So that's pretty standard as well. And this applies also to PD. Visitors in the workplace. In the event that a non-work related person visits an employee during working hours, personal visits with the city employees should be limited so as not to be unduly disruptive of the work environment. Happening in the building, you don't want your personal visitor to be liable for anything. And obviously there's sensitive information too.
They should not be allowed to enter restricted areas.
That's the new one now.
I mean, the seed just stuff like that. Really got bad. That seed is on.
Yeah.
This next one on personal relationships. Relationships with each other. And if they are, there should be some sort of policy. An instance where they're not working in the same department. And if the employees may be separated, that's pretty much what this policy is giving us the option to do.
Need to specifically say, because this is again regarding another incident, no PDA in the workplace.
Why did you look at that?
Because Colin knows it happened in the workplace. No public displays of affection in the workplace.
But I mean, that wouldn't even happen anyway with this policy because it's pretty much stating if you have a personal relationship, you can't work together at all. I guess. Would that be considered a personal visitor then?
No, because they're also an employee. No PDA.
No, we
See, if they're in a personal relationship, they have to let HR know that they're in a personal relationship.
Find out what if we are not in a relationship and that's.
Yeah, you.
You don't see any of them.
Just couldn't resist.
That would, I would.
No, because that's unwanted.
Well, it says a personal relationship is defined as a relationship between individuals who have or have had a continuing relationship. I don't know, or
You just didn't know it's happened.
I know what you're talking about. Okay.
No PDA.
Okay.
Employee, whether they're on duty or not, if it's a
PDA.
Okay. Okay.
Everybody knows, but nobody's talking about it.
The work.
So the next policy is dress and appearance. And actually, dress appropriately and professionally, present a clean and neat appearance while at work and while representing the city or conducting city business.
Especially when they're in a ditch.
Dress in the workplace year round. Obviously, department directors are strongly encouraged to allow their employees to participate. Professional business attire or required uniform is to be worn when there is a need to present a more formal professional appearance for meetings or special events. And then it just kind of, employees must remember that they are professionals 100% of the time and are dressing for business, not for pleasure. It's kind of already stated in here that I think I'm just diving into it a little bit more. Page 106 for dress and appearance, I've just added in up to and including termination of employment at the end, because all it states is that policy, it doesn't really state that you can get fired for it, which, like, you have to tell. In workplace violence. This is not in here at all. Obviously, violent behavior is not acceptable. So this just kind of goes over what violent behavior.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Page 109, we have unlawful harassment. Volunteers and unpaid interns are eligible to file a discrimination and or harassment complaint. The city takes all complaints seriously. Responsibility for resolving disputes. Employees are encouraged to seek resolution of a complaint through the chain of command. Harassment on supervisors, essentially supervisors' responsibility for any sort of unlawful harassment. Participating in any way in an investigation of a complaint will not be tolerated, and obviously confidentiality shall be maintained by all parties involved. Then we go to sexual harassment, where I'm added in goes more detailed into what is considered sexual harassment, the enforcement of the city's responsibility should a harassment complaint be filed. Again, we're stop sexual harassment against an employee or for participating in any way in an investigation of sexual harassment. Sexual harassment complaint will not be tolerated. In the event of legal proceedings for sexual harassment. So this just kind of goes way more detailed and harassment before, but this is really something that needs to be.
I don't think it's in here, but I think it's important as it is the duty of an employee to tell another employee if they says, hey, I think you're really pretty. You know, I would like to take you. Receiving that to say that is unwelcome.
Yeah.
No, thank. Less of a, you have to let them know it's unwelcome. You can't just let someone continue. And you see that quite often. And I know it's an uncomfortable situation, but the law has kind of swung where sexual. Say, no, the employee needs to tell them it's unwelcome. And I think that's in your training videos. Like if you receive this conduct, if you are the person recipient, or if you duty, an affirmative duty to tell them it's unwelcome. I think people need, I think that is good because I don't think people really reject it.
Well, should that be reported immediately to your supervisor?
No, because then that's when you report it. But the first time you have to tell them, thank you, but no thank you. And to a supervisor.
Okay. Then we have on page 114 in disciplinary action. In the general policy, I added in a paragraph at the bottom, which is pretty I'm throughout this policy, rather than which is the same thing. It's just kind of keeping the, I mean, we go from oral warning to written reprimand. I just don't know why we just don't.
We have a form that they sign for this.
Yes.
Yes. There's a
That's what we
disciplinary
did.
action for it. Yes.
We did. They had to
Yeah.
sign even though it was just an oral.
Yes. And obviously it goes down the line. So that's mostly what I'm changing on. Will be documented by the supervisor and maintained by the department head within department files, obviously for performance evaluation and just record keeping purposes. $15 is just saying that they may not be appealed by employees. However, employees who disagree with the counseling action may discuss the basis of disagreement. than 10 business days of receiving a written reprimand.
Stay in the file.
Okay. On page 116, adding to the list of reasons why repeated violations of the city's personnel policies as a reason for dismissal. So I'm adding that on there along with the city's safety. Um, 117, we just see some more changing of the oral to verbal. And any questions on 8? So then the last would be our appendices, which includes the same. On page 120. Um, Okay, on page 120, I added in on the incentive program summary, health. We have for getting the physical. To requirements, I added in language on essentially the annual. Right now, we just budget for. We've been budgeting for the same amount every single year. For like.
It's responsible for evaluating metrics and outcomes. Second,
That would essentially, because that report, just reading that would. Well, I guess that's for program activities and reports. That would be.
Safety.
Each member is responsible for.
it'd be good for us to know the report on here. Some loss reports.
To be honest. Right.
I mean, what's that?
It won't, if I space it, then it says it's a spelling error. I don't know. I think it's because it's like an old.
It's a format
Yeah.
thing.
Yes. Oh. Will receive an MCI adjustment every year if applicable, and will also take into account the city's experience modifier, which is provided by experience modifier is, which is a factor that adjusts an employee's workers' compensation insurance premium. Than expected and increases the premium, while a factor below 1 signals fewer claims, leading to a premium reduction. The modifier is calculated using so we would just take that into account when budgeting. Yeah, not really.
maybe we may come to a point we can figure out that. formula.
Um, I'm adding in employees must receive a medical physical within the fiscal year dates of 10/1 to 9/30. Question that kind of comes every year is, when do I go and, well, you have within the fiscal year to go and do that. So if it comes around. Oh, sorry.
And I think we need to put in there that we do have the insurance company. So they need to take advantage of that.
I could put that in there just as, but that just, proves that we.
Mosa now. You don't get your physical, you don't get health insurance paid.
Oh, wow.
So, because dental gives you guidelines on heart. But that
Right before 9:30 hits.
Got a chance to do it, right?
Yeah.
but it's, yeah, I mean, that's the way a lot of people are going. The only way to control.
So you have to have this.
Have to have a physical and a dental exam. Or not
Pay your own.
pay your own. But for most it's that way. Versus with, yeah, for all family members.
So for that whole year, they have to pay. And then they have the option.
Yeah.
I'm stating a routine eye and dental exams do not count as a medical physical. I guess apparently. Physical, it actually has to be,
I would require both.
some, well, yeah,
Dental
dental.
and physical.
It- medically checked out. Yeah.
The problem with making the dental mandatory to have that done is
What they're trying to do at the hospital is make a deal with a local dentist to like have a dental day where their employees can go.
if that's just cleanings.
Or it could be an exam.
Once you have your initial x-rays done, then you've got to pay for everything after.
I think it does state in here that if you're not, employees who are not covered by city insurance and or receive a reduced amount for the are exempt from this requirement. So if you aren't covered by our city insurance, you're exempt from this. That is a thing.
They still get the 25.
I think, I don't know, maybe, I think eligible to go to the TML wellness thing
Right,
yeah.
that gets provided, but I think they still have to provide a physical, yes. Because they have to have.
Joe brings his to it every year.
So really, I feel like that should probably just be maybe the language needs. Yeah. Yeah, that's. I kind of just go into explaining what a medical physical is, just so everyone is on the same page of what that is. So there's no confusion. So I scratched out fourth quarter, which is July through September. Period at the end of the safety fiscal year are not eligible to receive a safety incentive for that year. I just don't feel like you're in your probation. There's no way that you could even qualify to get the incentive because you haven't been here all year to even.
If they haven't made the,
I mean, all you can get is literally a physical. Maybe, depending on when you come in. So on page 125, this is something new. What we have it where employees can receive at fault incidents or accidents. The safety committee. Any employee who gets each at fault that you receive is a strike against your bonus, and each strike. So adding in a blurb pretty much about department at fault incidents where need 3 strikes within the year. So that's 3 at fault incidents. And in an at fault incident, I mean, that means if a department receives 3 total, and that can come from one person gets 3 or one of 10% of the total department's incentive value. If that happens.
You're talking about, that's the 70.
At the end of the year, payroll essentially calculates what everybody accomplished on the department meetings, whether they got their physical, however many strikes they got, et cetera. And at the end of it all, there's a total department. Because reach 75%. That total, I take 10%.
And it's basically the idea is to promote. Not a huge amount of money actually that's going to be deducted, but it is a little bit. And again, it's just to incentivize their wellness and their safety affects
Everybody.
everybody's.
I mean, and these accidents. I mean, so.
Like I said, it's not a huge amount. It's only 10%.
I did calculate it out as if. I did it for 22, 23. It was the PD department. They got 3. And it came out to be.
Sometimes some of those, like in PD, well, in all 3 of these departments in here, some of those cannot be helped.
I know, but that.
Small amount.
that's, well, the other side of that is it depends on the safety committee. Because we turn in all the documentation. Determined to be at fault, then yes, they're, like, I'll use my department, my street. And smashed a fender down into the trailer tires. That was at fault because he wasn't paying attention.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
sitting right there watching.
So.
So it's kind of situations like that, or you have.
Yeah, but remember that one over there that they. HB. I mean, people almost got hurt there
Yeah,
because
well,
that was,
we actually did have,
that's what I don't want them to, you know.
so that,
Yeah.
our safety committee is good about reviewing all the information that's put in the and it could have been prevented
Mhm.
by the staff that was on hand, or was this just
Yeah,
inevitable?
because I don't know, maybe. Because he wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I mean.
I mean, you know, you're running, you're trying to help somebody.
Well, and
$28 isn't a lot of money in this.
but you want to make sure that it's
You want
fair.
to make sure that it's fair to all, you know, everybody.
Yeah.
No. It's our fault, not somebody's fault. So this is pretty generous, so.
If there's any way of making it completely fair.
You know, in the. Then all that incentive, department incentive was taken away. I'm just trying to put a little bit.
No, I mean.
That's true, but again, that's what we all need to recognize, we are each other's keeper. Safe, or, you know, that, you know, somebody doesn't look well, or what, hey, you know, you don't look good, go talk to Wayne, maybe you need to go.
Yeah.
I like seeing this because when I came back to Port Lavaca, the safety
Point, this actually, a lot of this language was in a previous policy from the city, and I took the language from there. It was an old one that you.
Yes,
Essentially, yes. Yes. And then obviously I added in that, if in the is leaving, will still be credited with the injury. The department receiving the employee will not be affected, because how is that their fault? Yeah. Yeah, and like, I mean, I went back. For the safety, well, that's how long I've been here, so I know for sure. And this has only happened not 3 times within the past 6 years. Police once, fires never hit it. Fire hasn't hit it in the past 6 years at all. But
So this committee, who's it made of? Is it
it has
department?
3 public works, payroll, or somebody from administrative from City Hall. It doesn't have to necessarily be finance, HR. And when they do the at faults, when they read out the safe forms, they're anonymous. So not even by like the department on here, and they know it happened. You know, it's not anonymous anymore.
if you read the incident time, it's like. But I just see a lot of paper cuts going unreported at City Hall, so.
I mean, we have gotten a strike. I mean, we have Bradley, Derek, and we have Jimbo too, who are all I mean, or anything could happen. I mean, I don't know. People climb ladders over here to put up decorations.
Uh, kudos to all of the department heads and Jody yourself. We have driven the at-fault incidents, we've driven them down.
Yeah.
We're focusing on
We like
taking
to see
this.
that. So
Well, you just doing that today.
Yeah.
But these are things that we've seriously taken into consideration for.
For safety events, I just added in addition each year, the city will. Since I've been here, it's always been in the summertime. So I just put year. I mean, let's leave it open. Added in one program. This is something new, and this is something that I think it recognizes employees a little bit more. I know we have a safety employee of the year, but this kind of just opens it up to excellence awards, you know, because it's hard for, I understand the safety employee of the year, but I have always done. We're sitting at our desk all day. I mean, so this kind of just puts it to where you can recognize other employees. Some other Texas city and morphed it into something that we could maybe morph into whatever we wanted it to be. The annual recognition award, these would all be presented at the safety banquet on a yearly basis. Based on extraordinary circumstances, so not normal routine duties performed by an employee, you know, someone who's identifying and implementing demonstrating the highest quality, innovative customer service, demonstrating instituting innovations which results in efficiency of operations, demonstrating throughout their career at the city distinguished service through an exceptional from their duties. All full-time and part-time employees would be eligible. Nomination forms for any employee could nominate. So if you can nominate your own coworker, you know, it wouldn't just be based off of a and then I think at the end of the year, the completed forms reviewed by the city manager, and therefore the city manager would make the final decision on. For her. And just stating that the annual recognition award will be limited to only one recipient per. It's just stating that an employee that receives an annual recognition award will be presented with a framed certificate and a monetary reward of 100. Then the second award would be the Excellence Recognition Award, which would be based upon exceptional circumstances associated. Essentially, they're based off their job duties, but they do them exceptionally well. This would actually nominate one of their employees for this, and then it would be chosen probably by the city And the same thing for type award announcement. They would be presented with a frame certificate. Something in there. I just know that this is something that's always talked about. It just kind of adds on to some sort of employee appreciation. Yeah, the department heads would get together and nominate one of them and have it anonymous or however.
Bring department heads together, put forth our nominations and
Right.
weigh the value of each one of them.
And then as a group, but
Could add that one in too. I mean, this is something I'm starting off with. Like I said, this could be awards. I saw one city, they had like 8 awards.
How big of a city though?
So, but they had,
I guess this is the,
I just want to start with something.
I know over the years, safety and it's been tried to happen, but it says that there's no follow through.
Implement the program without having it right.
Yeah,
I think that, I mean, because I've now looking back at other policies, I know there was a policy here. In here, but it was just like an internal thing and it kind of just fell through the cracks. So it was called employee recorder.
Quarter, last time that was actually, the plaque was issued was in 2004.
Okay, well,
before our times.
Met the criteria.
Wasn't there another one called staff or something? I have to go back and look in all my stuff. Who was the main person getting all the?
See, I've tried to bring employee of the month, employee of the
Yeah,
quarter,
he-
public
he
works.
was-
Yeah, I mean, it just, nobody cares. But I found that this is great, but the more. It's like.
that's true. And then the last. I don't know if anyone has any questions or.
Did a great job.
Yeah, I'm done.
communicating with the department heads and the employees throughout the process.
Yes, yes.
Did get what they
To one last hurrah before, I plan to take this, to bring it back for.
the December 8th meeting.
Mhm. If not December, definitely January.
The first recognition will be this December or next?
It would be next December.
Next.
And that is all I have.
No, we've got Daniel.
Basically,
Development.
I'm going.
You gonna go?
Take a treat. I would get a written agreement.
I am. I was gonna write it up and write it that way. That's what she's going to do. She's going to do it.
Motion to adjourn.
I feel bad for her.
I'll second.
So.
Motion and second to adjourn, all in favor, say aye.
Thank you.
Y'all, the Helping Hands on the Coast is having a dance and dinner on December the 13th. Our group for Helping Hands on the Coast. So